Hi, this is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and I thought I would bring you along for some paper dyeing. I've purchased this cook pan from the thrift store, so I don't have to use my food one, and I have some just regular bond copy paper. So I like to put a piece of paper down first. These are some placemats that I got at the thrift store, and I've cut them approximately in half. You'll see other parts later, but I try to just lay this somewhat in the middle. I can put other things in the edge, or sometimes I kind of move the liquid down. Okay, so what I made here is some blackberry dye in my jar. I put a little water and a tea bag in it. I pureed the berries, and then I filtered them through a mesh screen to get out all the seeds. I put some water with I don't know if this will all fit in here. Yeah, it might. Oh, my spray bottle, is it leaking or did I spill? I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. So I pureed the berries, then I filtered them through a metal strainer, and then I have way too much. So we won't spray to begin with. Sorry, let me just finish telling you what I'm doing. I took a boiled cup of water and put a tea bag in it, let it soak, poured that water in so it was a little runnier because it was thick, and the tea I think sometimes helps stabilize the dye, especially food dyes. And then I also added a little bit of vinegar. I didn't have white handy, so I used apple cider. I don't know that it matters. It smells a little more, but I don't think it matters. So I'm going to put it in the spray bottle to spray some, but to begin with, I guess maybe I will slide this to one end because we have way too much, and it's going to be coming out of here. So I'm just going to be pouring this on. What do I want to use? Maybe I don't have my silicone brush handy, do I? I do have this foam brush. So we'll just spread some of this out in here. And this is quite pink when you do the blackberries, but I found when it dried that it was actually more blue. So a blue kind of purple. So we'll just get enough on here. We'll just paint it to begin with. I was going to spray, but maybe we'll do that later on. So I'm going to just put some stuff in here and layer it, and this will smush out in different paces and make patterns. I'm gonna have messy fingers, but that's part of the job. I'll smooth it a little bit and pick another something textured to put in. Sometimes I'll just put the pages together, and sometimes I'll pick something. Now this thing is quite large. I probably should just cut it because otherwise I have to try to fold it between pieces. This, I believe, is rug gripper. You put down under a rug to stop it from moving. And let's see, this would be, these things all end up dyed after a while. So I'll snip here to mark my spot and trim this more page appropriate. It doesn't have to be exactly, that's part of what adds the interest. So we'll put this one on and some more of our berry stuff, and it doesn't have to cover the whole thing. And I might later add some water because this is still a little thick, which will also make it spread some. Oops. Maybe get some around the edges. This will spread out as we go. You can do the same process with, I like to push because it helps to adhere it and get it on the back of this other paper. Sometimes I just paint a layer in between. This piece will also pick up some of the pattern of the piece below. You can do coffee dyeing, tea dyeing, other textures or things. This is a doily from the dollar store, and it was white when I purchased it, but it's been coffee dyed and stuff a lot. This is way too thick, actually. Just give up some of my drinking water. I guess I kind of overflowed onto the water there, or the floor. This will thin the color a little bit, but it'll make it move a bit more. If we were able to spray it or pour it, it would make a more complete pattern because it would go more places. But this'll spread out while it's drying. And there'll have to be a part 2 for you to see the finished product, because I'm going to leave it to sit for a day or two. Let's just do this one again by itself. Sometimes they'll stick together. Sometimes blowing it with a hairdryer or putting it on a cookie sheet in the oven will make it unstick. And sometimes they'll tear and you have to just find another use for them. Here's another doily, which isn't quite as colored. Probably hasn't been used as often. I guess I didn't put another piece of paper down, did I? Let's do another piece of paper in between. Maybe put some extra here to make sure we get something on the back of this. And put this one down again. This one you can see I haven't trimmed to fit exactly, but that's okay. It makes quite nice print on the paper and design. If you have like a bulb syringe, you can, like actually here I have one handy, suck up some of this and drip it on too. It looks like there might be a little pulp that has made its way still in here. That will brush off after it dries. This works, I think, nicer than the brush, because you can get some, oops, we do not want to spill that. Even though I'm wearing a tie-dyed shirt, we don't need to berry dye it as well. Okay, put down another piece of paper. And you can see that this is already getting an impression. Okay, we'll paint this just randomly, which it'll keep some of this pattern and some of it'll change up. These make great signature pages in a journal. Also, you can use them for collage. Now here's a doily that I've cut smaller. Looks like I needed to have flattened it out more. We'll try the bulb syringe again. That seems to work nice. And any way you want to do it, you can leave these two corners up here white if you want. You can just put a little of this on, do little splats. And you might also come back and dab some as well. I think I've got it down into my bottle though now, so I can't stick my brush in again. But we'll just improvise here and pour some from our spray bottle in there. Now we can put the spray nozzle on. We'll finish blotting this on a little bit. Just adds a little interest to your page. Maybe some lighter floppies out here. Of course, I'm, getting some on with my hands, but we're dyeing it, so that's fine. Put another paper on, maybe brush this one as well. You can see there's a little bit of plant particle in there. The edges are the part that's a little harder to get it all out there. Maybe we'll add a little foam brush tapping design. See what that looks like. Okay. And this really looks pink, I know. But I'm really pretty sure it's going to look blue. So here's another one of those doilies that I've cut a little bit. Get a bunch on here. Maybe just splatter up here, which will smush down in the pile. See if we can get it to spray. Come on. Helps if I open the end. Prime the pump. I don't know, my sprayer does not want to spray, so I guess we're patting this. I should have tried it out beforehand. I could do a 3-part where I show you as I undo these, or I can show you after I've taken them off and dried them, but that could be a 3rd part too. Maybe we'll just randomly done. You can make a whole stack of these all at once. Maybe we'll use this. Let's see. Here's I believe it's for loosening jars, or you can use it also for a trivet. I think we're gonna want to put some paint on here for this, and then put this on here, and put extra around the edges to get that edge, and then put some out here to pick up this pattern. I think our sprayer just isn't going to work, so we're going to just use our dropper. And this will pick up this dot pattern. And the more dye you put on, then the darker it will be. More intense, the dye. So let's put some of this. Is this the same rug stuff? I think it is. Let's see if we can cut another piece about the right size. Just following the grid of this. And then it's too long, so we'll figure out how long do we want it. I think I've just wrapped this around before because I have used these. So I probably just folded them with paper inside. All right, so there's this one. We'll just take that out. So let's just splurt some on here. It will most likely spread, but we never know exactly. It's a mystery. So, soak that up. Maybe do a painted one again. I do like to get to the edges, although we can always distress our edges. I know for my journal challenge, hashtag play your hand, when I did the berry painting, I just did it like finger painting, smushed in my fingers. But if you don't like to be as messy, although it is still messy, you could try this. Let's see what else we have for textures. We have more of those doilies. I'm gonna throw these in my tray so I don't get them everywhere. Let's see, I have this one. This is a fun pattern. I think this is perhaps a sink guard, probably from the Dollar Tree. I don't think it was big enough for like a shower. I think it was like a kitchen sink to kind of protect your dishes from the harshness of the sink. Okay, put down another piece of paper. And we'll do kind of a diagonal painting on this one just for something different. And what else do we have down here? We have this big one, which is like a bath mat. I think it's already been cut some, but let's trim it off. I think sometimes I haven't taken the time to cut it smaller previously, but it's been used. So we'll put that on there. And just add a little bit more. I'm gonna have to fill our cup up again. You might think that this will just run under there and not leave a very good pattern, but with the putting some weight on it, it does actually make a pretty good pattern. And you can put patterns back to back, like putting another pattern there if you want to also have a similar pattern or a different one on the back. I think sometimes it's nice to just paint the back with your die because it gives the variety, plus it gives the opportunity to have a little more moisture in there. We do have some lace here that I was thinking of cutting some of it to fit. Let's see, it'll be, can't see real well. These are not good fabric scissors, so I'm hoping it will tear. You might not be able to see this, but you can probably hear that it is tearing. Okay, so we'll put this on here, go across. Should have grabbed my fabric scissors. I don't cut clear to the point, and I get these more in the middle. I sometimes can cut this. Right now I think I'm kind of chewing my way across. As you cut these though, you can continue to use the same texture pieces for repeated, even if it's a different color die. Oops, here's the one that I cut. And the bonuses of something like this, which is one reason I wanted to do this one, is you also are dyeing your lace at the same time, which then you can use in your journal in other ways. So I'm just tapping this on to try to get a nice coat of the dye. Once again, this is Blackberry. Another day, excuse my arm here, another day we'll do something else. I know we have beet. Okay. Put this out of the way. Grab another piece of paper. Press that in place. And I do like these. This one is not cut, but we'll just put it on anyway. Give a little bit different perspective to the print by putting it on. I have cut some of these into fourths. They don't seem to be right here. This is just a bulb syringe. You put it in, then squish the bulb and pull. Oh no, you squish the bulb, stick it in, release the bulb, and it sucks up the liquid. Okay. This one is going to need to be weighted to keep that down. But when we're done, we'll put some weights on it. So let's give this a little bit of a coloring. And I'd be okay if these stayed pink, but I'm hoping they'll be blue because I would like some blue dyed paper. These are some other things I've found. I think they were on the edge of that sink mat, and I've just had trimmed them off, and I thought, oh, why don't I just throw them in? I'm looking to see if there are any more down here. Yeah, here's a couple more. So we can just maybe even jog them up and down like that. Splatter some stuff across them. See what kind of impressions we get. I'm all about just playing and having a good time and then using what I get. So, this one down. If I decide that this doesn't have enough moisture, then I might pour some water on it later, which that might lighten the color though. Or I could pour some coffee or tea on some of it and make it distressed. This is a different kind of shelf liner or something, kind of a pattern. Let's see. Let's put it on here at an angle. That might be fun. Splash some of this through here. This is letting it get down into the holes. So some of these that I'm painting on will for sure have color over the whole page, and some of these other ones might only have color on a part of the page. Now this one is sitting on a painted page, so it'll definitely be all the way across, but I'm going to put one on top of it that doesn't have it painted across, so it'll be picking up the impression from underneath the dots. Okay, I'll paint this one. Hope this is helpful for people that haven't tried this before. Here's some more of this stuff that we can just send through here and off the edge. This is some little pearly type beads. Maybe we'll just stick that down there. Here's another row of them. Maybe we'll have a couple. And we'll just put some extra dye on them. Oops. If you're somebody that wants them to be perfectly straight with the edges, then you'd want to lay them down such and make sure they stayed there. I'm just into having some texture added to my paper, and I don't mind if it's not even. So we'll put one on here. And we'll paint this to make sure we get moisture, because sometimes you need that for the paper to absorb the pattern underneath. The more moisture, though, of course, the longer it takes to dry. Okay, what else do we have down here? Here's some more doily. Let's splatter some more on here. I actually haven't used this bulb syringe in making the dyed paper before, so this is a new technique for me. We'll see how it comes out. I was hoping this spray bottle would work to make some sprayed paper, but I guess that isn't to be. Okay, I'm getting fingers nicely dyed. If you don't want your fingers to get dyed, you can wear like a thick lotion, like gloves in a bottle, or there's an Avon one that's supposed to keep your fingers clean for stuff. You can try those, or you can wear rubber gloves if you'd like. I find it wears off before long, so it's not a big deal. I think I'm gonna let this be kind of scrunchy. I think that will be kind of cool. This, I believe, is a older generation mesh bag for putting hand washing or delicates in your washing machine. I think they're made out of different fabrics now, but you might still find probably cheaper ones made this way. But it's a really nice pattern. You can also use the produce bags that have a mesh, get them to lay out flat. And they'll make a nice pattern. Okay. Okay, we'll paint another one here. Make this one really messy. Another piece of paper. Here's another one of these grids. I think we might be getting down in our bottle here, where it's a little harder to reach. Is this something that you think that you would try with some kind of berries or vegetables? I've used canned beets that I had extra to get rid of. I've used tea, coffee. What else have I used? Avocado. I've tried greens. One thing I tried was blackberry leaves, I think it was, hoping that it would be really nice and green. Unfortunately, it wasn't very exciting, which is too bad because I have way too much of those I need to get rid of. So I'm going to try some eco prints with the blackberry leaves. See how that comes out. Okay, I think we're getting close to the top here, at least on this one side. So we might try something else. Here's another one of these doilies. Maybe we'll put it on this side to make it a little thicker on that side. Try just kind of pouring it around. I find it's kind of nice to do the edge so you get a good edge indication where the edge is for the design. And maybe just some pats out there, maybe a little spray. Okay, so now we could try making dot patterns with a Q-tip. that. Put on another piece of paper. Hold your thoughts for just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. We had family about to come in. So I wanted to head them off. So some of these will go through to the other side, so they might add some more, and some of these will be darker. Just trying to do something a little different. We could get out rubber stamps and do that too, but I think that we won't today. So maybe we'll just do some blotches. Well, these are like the Rorschach ink blotches. I don't think that this dye will keep really good being fresh berries, so that's why I'm gonna just go ahead and use up my whole batch. So you see I'm just smushing it down. It's going to run down to some of the lower levels as well. I'm not getting too much on this other side, but some of it will bleed through. Because I'm putting on such a heavy layer, I don't want to paint both sides necessarily. So we'll see what these look like with our splotches. Maybe we'll fling them out. I don't know if you can see kind of what that's doing underneath. Fling that out there. See, we don't get as messy if we put the paper on first before we fling, even though we're getting, if we get part of the edge, then we do end up into the paint. But so these are going to be considerable more moist, but it will also soak down to the lower levels. Oops. So smush this out. And pour some more. That's the end of that one. And one more. We have our cup here. Smush that out. And then I'll just use up what's on the brush. Maybe make sort of a plaid. Okay, so there we go. There's our, I'll just use my paint shirt for a towel. That's our dye for today. I will put some weight on this. Here's a bin with some paint, which is fairly heavy. So I'll just plop that on. And here's another one. There we go. Got it all weighted down, and check back for part 2 to see how they came out. Thanks for joining me. This was Peggy from the Pearl Forest.